was quite a powerful word with his aggression,
Wow.
something like that. And
Yeah.
it would have. I thought, God, if I were Bellingham, I'd know exactly what Tuchel was saying, and it was
Yeah.
just clever. I thought to say, yeah, my wife didn't like the way basically he pursued that woman ref, not because she's a woman. I mean, I thought she was excellent. I watched that game. Brilliant
Yeah.
referee, as good as any man. So I'm not saying that from a point of view that she was a woman. Although that said, there is something, I think, if you've got a female ref and or linesman, assistant ref, there is something about a male player angrily mouthing something at the ref or chasing after her. There is something about the man and the woman. You know, it's
Yeah.
always been a male dominated game.
Yeah.
Like most people now, we should welcome, and I think most of us do, the influence of female officials. I think there was one a Lions woman, assistant ref, Sean Sean something Ellis, and
Yeah.
she was a very good. I think she may have come back to run the line now. She's had a family, I think. But yeah, they're doing a good job, and I'm not saying they should be treated by male players with kid gloves. If you don't agree, you can say it as you would to a man. But I
Yeah.
think Bellingham showed a less than good side of his character or
Right.
personality by what he did. And I
Right.
thought Tuchel was clever in how he wanted to say it, and he probably did say it, but if he didn't say it to him face to face, it was good to say something that will get in the papers, that will get back to Bellingham's ears, because, yeah, he's a great footballer, Jude Bellingham, a great footballer, but
Is.
maybe there's something in his personality which might need, shall we say, slight adjustment, or he needs
Right.
to cool down a bit rather than, just dive in there without really thinking what he's doing. And I think
Yeah.
people were pulling him away because they thought, well, he'll end up getting a red card and all that goes with it.
Yeah.
So I don't, to answer the question, I think Tuchel knows what he's about. I think he's a good manager. I think he showed that when he was at Chelsea
Yeah.
and elsewhere. And I think he will take the tough decisions. And if that means saying to someone established, whether it's Harry Kane or the goalkeeper or anybody else, he will do
Yeah.
it for the good of the team. And I think
Wow.
we're lucky to have someone who's got that toughness in their approach.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really nice comment. I like the way that you touched on the mentality of the players that are coming up, because it is a tough market, and it's a tough field of
Mm,
play. I mean, you have to continuously be in form. Going in good form, be physically fit and
yeah,
mentally fit as well, because um you know like what you said about Bellingham, it just sort of, it's like there's something with, I mean, we love Jude Bellingham, we love him, but he did something similar. There was a game with Real Madrid and Osasuna, and he did something similar and he got sent off for it. And
right.
yeah, and Carlo Ancelotti, he said something. He said he was defending, well, rather trying to defend Jude Bellingham, and he said, well, he said to the referee, he didn't say F you, he said F off. And we laughed about you on this show, if you remember. We laughed about you
Yeah,
on this, and we said it must be
absolutely.
interpretation of the English language, but obviously Jude Bellingham is English.
Yeah, of
and
course it
and
is.
if you,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you mouth off to the referee like that, he said obviously the referee, he wasn't directed at the referee, because if he was directed at the referee, he would have said F you rather than F off, which is basically the same thing. You can't say that to anybody.
There's no difference, really, is there?
Yeah,
No difference,
yeah.
no.
It doesn't.
Is there?
Yeah,
No difference,
yeah.
no.
There's not much difference. There's no difference at all. So yeah, so perhaps there is something that you touched on there about our beloved Jude Bellingham. Perhaps there is something that needs to be worked on there. with,
Yeah, yeah.
his temper. Because what would happen is if other opposition players, if they go away for that, what they're going to do is use it. They obviously going to
Of
use
course
it.
they
Get on
do.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
it
Well,
lasts you,
that's right.
yeah,
They exploit it, don't they? If
they
someone's
will.
got a weakness, they
Yeah,
will exploit it. And in a way, if you go back to, what was it? Was it 1998
yeah,
when Beckham got sent off in the world? I think that was the World Cup, wasn't it? He
yeah,
was clearly his propensity to lose his temper when he was
yeah,
on the floor. I think he'd been fouled,
yeah,
and Simeone, I think, was the other player who provoked him a bit by just touching him. And of
yeah,
course, Beckham lifted his leg to sort of kick him. But when you look back on that, that should never have been a sending off. I mean, Beckham got all sorts of grief for that. And I remember, I forget where I watched that game, but I remember driving home and listening to the radio, people saying, "Oh, Beckham should never play for England again," and all this sort of nonsense. I mean, there clearly was a lot of frustration that we'd lost possibly our best player from something so trivial. And I suppose the
yeah,
point was any player in any competition, but should realise if you give the ref the slightest excuse, if you
yeah,
sort of lash out, but he just lifted his leg from his
yeah,
knee when he was laying flat out on the floor. So
yeah,
it was a very dubious sending off, but it happened, and I think what Tuchel realises quite clearly, and managers generally do, that if you don't try and tame someone who's got a temper, you will
yeah.
end up losing that player in a crucial game at a crucial time on the pitch in a big competition. So the point is, Jude Bellingham, you could argue, great player though he is,
Yeah.
could well be a red card waiting to happen.
Absolutely. Wow, this is all we've got time for. Hope you enjoyed our chats and comments on the beautiful game of football. So this is all we've got time for. Thank you for listening. I've been Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz.
And I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv. And everybody enjoy the Women's Euros beginning today.
Wow, beautiful. So it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me too.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Football Referee. See you next time.